All right, so today we're going to do something a little different. We're going deep on Dr. Anita Jhangiani, a dentist here in Houston.
Oh, interesting.
Now, I know what you might be thinking, dentistry for a deep dive.
Yeah.
But trust me on this one, her story is way more interesting than you might think.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
We're going to uncover some real insights about leadership and career paths.
Okay.
And maybe even some hidden talents.
I love hidden talents.
So let's get started. We're going to start back in 2004.
Okay.
When Dr. Jhangiani graduated from Houston Baptist University.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
She double majored in biology and e-business.
Wow, that's a really interesting combination.
What do you think that tells us about her even back then?
I think it really speaks volumes. I mean, even back then, it seems like she was thinking beyond just the clinical side of dentistry. You know, maybe she was already kind of envisioning a future where she'd be running her own practice or at least, you know, playing a leadership role.
Yeah.
That kind of foresight is pretty impressive.
It's like she was laying the groundwork for something bigger.
Exactly.
And her career path definitely reflects that.
Yeah.
So after Baylor College of Dentistry in 2009, she spent a good chunk of time, like almost a decade, in general dentistry.
Okay.
First at South Texas Dental, and then she stepped up as a lead provider at Park Lakes Dental Care.
Right. So that's a solid foundation to build on.
For sure.
You know, you got to get those reps in.
Absolutely.
Before you move on to something bigger.
Yeah, so this is where things take a turn.
Okay.
In 2019, she joins Galactic Smiles in Humble, Texas.
Okay.
Now, this wasn't just another dentistry job.
All right.
Here she was an associate dentist, but she was also managing staff, mentoring other dentists, and specializing in both family and cosmetic dentistry.
Wow, she was doing it all.
How do you even interpret that move?
Well, I think it's more than just aiming for a specific goal, right? It's like she was recognizing that being a great dentist in today's world means more than just clinical expertise.
Right.
You need leadership. You need management skills, the ability to mentor.
Yeah.
All of that contributes to a really successful modern practice.
I think you're totally right. And wouldn't you know, just a couple years later, she makes another big leap.
Oh, really?
She joins Dr. Bill Boyd's family practice in 2021.
Okay.
But here's the thing, that practice, under her leadership, became Cedar House Family Dentistry.
So she went from employee to shaping a whole practice.
Talk about a power move.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
It really highlights how she was building towards something, right? Like that business acumen combined with all of her clinical experience and her leadership skills.
Yeah.
It allowed her to transform that practice. She's not just a dentist, she's like a savvy entrepreneur.
Totally.
I mean, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
It is.
It's not just about the business side either.
Right.
We also dug into her certifications, and some of them really stood out to me.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, of course, there's the basic life support and nitrous oxide.
Right, the standard ones.
But then there's diode laser certification from the Academy of Laser Dentistry.
That's interesting.
What does that tell you?
Well, it tells me she's invested in staying ahead of the curve, right? I mean, diode lasers are being used more and more in dentistry for all kinds of procedures. They offer a lot of precision and minimize discomfort.
Yeah.
And they can be used for everything from gum treatments to teeth whitening.
Oh, wow.
So by getting certified, Dr. Jhangiani is showing her patients that she's committed to offering them the most up-to-date options.
Absolutely. It's like she's constantly learning and evolving.
Exactly.
And that's not all. She's also certified for Invisalign and Invisalign Go.
Oh, nice.
Now, I know a lot of our listeners are probably familiar with Invisalign, but for those who aren't,
Right.
it's basically a modern alternative to traditional braces.
Yeah, and it's super popular these days. I mean, people are looking for discreet and comfortable ways to straighten their teeth. And, you know, offering Invisalign shows that she's in tune with what her patients want.
Yeah.
And that she's willing to invest in providing those options.
Plus, she's also got the Pediatric Advanced Life Support certification.
Oh, wow. So she's prepared to handle emergencies, especially with younger patients.
It seems like she's going the extra mile to make sure her patients are safe and well cared for.
You know, it's interesting how all these certifications paint this picture of someone who's not just competent, but also compassionate. Like, she's covering all her bases, both in terms of her technical skills and in creating a really positive experience for her patients.
And she is an active member of both the American Dental Association and the Texas Dental Association.
Oh, wow. So she's definitely staying up to date on all the latest advancements in dentistry.
For sure, it's that commitment to constant learning that separates the good from the great.
Absolutely. And in a field like dentistry, which is always evolving, you can't just rest on your laurels. You have to be actively engaged in the profession.
Yeah.
Like attending conferences, reading research, networking with colleagues.
Right.
It's a real commitment to lifelong learning, which I think is awesome.
Now get this, outside of dentistry, she's a total fitness enthusiast.
Oh, really?
Hiking, running 5Ks, traveling. She's even a regular at Cycle Bar Houston Heights.
Wow, that's amazing. Talk about a well-rounded individual.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Makes you wonder when she even finds time to sleep.
It really does. It speaks to her energy and her discipline and, her passion for life beyond work.
Yeah.
And it makes her more relatable, too. I think, she's not just Dr. Jhangiani, this highly accomplished dentist.
Right.
She's also Anita, someone who enjoys staying active and exploring the world.
I love that.
Yeah.
And speaking of relatable, we can't forget about her love for spending time with family and friends, and of course her dog Capone.
Everyone loves a dog person.
Okay, before we wrap up, we have to touch on the Cedar House ethos.
Okay.
Because it's not just about cutting-edge technology or business savvy.
Right. Right.
Dr. Jhangiani is really dedicated to creating this friendly, family-oriented atmosphere for her patients.
I mean, that's so important in any healthcare setting, but especially dentistry. People often have anxiety about going to the dentist, and it seems like Dr. Jhangiani really understands that. By creating a welcoming environment and prioritizing personalized care, she's really taking the fear out of dentistry and building trust with her patients.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Dr. Jhangiani's world, what stands out to you the most? What can our listeners take away from her journey?
Well, for one, I think it challenges our stereotype of what a dentist can be, She's not just clinically skilled. She's a leader, a mentor, a businesswoman, a fitness enthusiast, and a dog lover.
And she's managed to weave all those different aspects of her life into this successful and fulfilling career. I think there's a lesson there for all of us.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that success doesn't always follow a linear path.
Right.
It's about embracing opportunities, constantly learning, and finding that unique blend of skills and passions that allows you to thrive.
And here's something I've been thinking about. What does Dr. Jhangiani's story tell us about the future of dentistry?
Oh, that's interesting.
Especially in a place like Houston. It's such a diverse and dynamic city.
Yeah, it is. And that's definitely reflected in its healthcare landscape. I mean, Dr. Jhangiani's success suggests that to really thrive in that environment, you need more than just technical expertise.
You have to connect with people from all walks of life and be adaptable and really embrace lifelong learning.
For sure.
And she embodies all of that.
She really does.
It makes you wonder, what will patients expect from dentists in the years to come?
Yeah, it's a really good question.
Will it be about kind of seamlessly blending high-tech solutions with a personalized touch?
It's possible. I mean, is that the winning formula?
Right.
Yeah.
What other skills will be essential for dentists? As technology keeps advancing and patient expectations evolve.
Right.
It's like Dr. Jhangiani's journey is offering us a glimpse into that future.
I think so. It's really inspiring. It's like a reminder that we all have these unique stories to tell. Yeah. And those stories can reveal so much about the world around us.
Absolutely. So next time you meet someone new, maybe take a moment to dig a little deeper. You never know what you might discover.
That's so true.
Sometimes the most interesting deep dives are into the lives of people we might otherwise overlook.
Couldn't agree more. Dr. Anita Jhangiani's story is a perfect example. Even in a field as familiar as dentistry, there are always surprises and valuable insights waiting to be uncovered.
That's a great note to end on.
It is.
Until next time, deep divers keep exploring, keep learning, and most importantly, keep asking those questions.